Hi, Gooby. This is Mitzi. I'm working from home today, but I wanted to see if we could still work on some macros today. So could you give us an example of when you would use a macro?
Macros should be used for repetitive tasks. When we have to do things over and over again, it's important to be able to do them quickly. We would want to think about using macros when we have to do things that we need to assign to other people. We would want to use macros when we need to do things that take a lot of time.
Wow, Gooby, that sounds like that'd be really helpful when you needed to save time. Could you tell us a specific example where we could use a macro?
Let's say, in this case, every Monday morning you get to work at 8 a.m. and you need to provide your boss a meaningful report on last week's hours worked for her 8:30 staff meeting. Not much time, right?
Thanks so much, Gooby. Could we just see the basics of how you record a macro, and can we see one in action and see the magic?
So let's take a look at a spreadsheet now. So let's just say every morning we get an email with this information about hours worked last week, but it looks a little bit plain. We want to jazz this up a little bit with some chart, or a chart probably, and to make this data more meaningful when your boss reports. Macros are up under the Development tab. Let's take a quick look at how the code looks when we work on a macro. And you can see how the code looks, but don't worry about this because you don't have to worry about code and no code to create a macro. So let's take a quick look at how you will record a macro. First, go to the Development tab. Then you're going to go over to the Code group and find Macros. And you're going to look for the Record Macro button. And you need to you're going to need to know what the procedure is you want to use. You're going to select Record Macro. And then you're going to need to name your macro. You're going to say OK. And then you just perform the steps in the procedure. When you finish, you choose Stop Recording. And it's just that simple. That's right. When you're recording a macro, just remember the steps. Start recording using the Development tab. You perform the steps and then you stop recording. Yes, that's simple. Excel will remember the steps and repeat them every time you run the macro. Now let's run the macro. See the magic. So here's our data. We're going to take and go back to the Developer tab. We're going to go to Macros, and we're going to find the macro we need to use. And after we select, we want to make sure it's selected, and then we're going to choose Run. And I want you to watch how fast this runs when we select it. See, that's how fast it runs. It's not trick photography or anything. That's how fast your macro will run. And in this macro, you notice that we've got some interesting things for your boss to take a look at, such as it's easy to see which hours will work less by each employee. You can see the total hours, the minimum hours, maximum hours, and a nice chart.
Wow! Thanks so much, Gooby, and thank you so much for your help today. Bye-bye for now.
Come back and see us anytime. Bye-bye for now.